That's a fun hunt. This time of year, even though it's hot and we complain about the heat, there's nothing more I love than shooting pigs.
Doing a little scouting this afternoon on my little place. It's middle part of September.
Okay, my friends, I think our charcoal is just about ready. So let's take a look at our cobbler. I've got it all mixed up and ready to go.
Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We're so glad you tuned in to join us for another exciting real-world outdoor adventure right here on A Sportsman's Life.
Sitting on the ground. I built this blind for Larry Wiseman, my partner with H3 and my mentor, and he sat here many hours one week and didn't have very much luck. But Larry, this one's for you, my friend. Like I said, it was hot. That sun, I mean, just barely, not 2 seconds ago, dropped where it wouldn't light me up like a Christmas tree. I feel like a baked chicken. But that happened pretty good, and we're getting out here before dark, and so I don't think we're gonna have much of a tracking trail. It looked like he laid right down, so I'm gonna go up there and see if I can get my hands on him. Muddy. She's been in that water hole. cool, keeping the bugs off of her. This is a fun hunt. This time of year, even though it's hot, we complain about the heat. There's nothing more I love than shooting pigs. She'll eat good. She's not too terribly big. These pigs about this size, I get some good meat on them. And we'll take her up and we'll get her cut up and probably take her into town this one, and I might have some chorizo made with this one. They sure do taste good with some eggs. Man, I'm telling you, that was fun. This Hornady ammunition is incredible stuff, what it does. I mean, I feel like she was laying down and out for the count before the gun even went boom. You cannot ask for ammunition that performs any better. I mean, it's just time and time again. It doesn't matter if it's, a pig. It doesn't matter if it's an elk. It doesn't matter if it's a moose or a bear or a Cape buffalo. I mean, this is what you get right here. They lay down. I mean, when we started shooting Hornady, that was the last time we had to start tracking animals. It's amazing. A good gun. I'm comfortable with it. I shoot it a lot. We do a lot of predator hunting on this ranch and many other ranches that we manage, and a lot of different predator competitions we do, and a lot of hog stuff that we do, and so I'm comfortable with the gun, and the gun just shoots Hornady's incredible. It's super performance round. It's perfect with this gun, and I'll tell you what, I keep doing this, and I might have to get a whole lot more ammunition. I promise you that. Not a problem though. Get her taken care of.
Brought to you by Dallas Safari Club, Conservation, Education, and Hunter Advocacy. Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus Firearms, maker of the Raging Hunter. Trigicon, brilliant aiming solutions.
Doing a little scouting this afternoon on my little place. It's middle part of September, and going to put out some curiosity lure that's put out, of course, by Texas Raised Hunting Products. Got a spot over here that I want to set it up, and we'll try to see what happens over the next several days. I'll try to check it tomorrow, and then maybe I won't be able to check it for a week or two because things I have to do with the Dallas Safari Club and the Dallas Safari Club Foundation. So let's walk over here and put out this curiosity lure, and like I said, we'll come back and set up a trail camera in about a week or two and see what we can find. As you can see, this is right on the edge of an opening. My property is primarily open, but there is a little bit of brush available. My dad used to use this kind of a trash pile at one time or another, and so we're going to come in here and clean things out. And as you can see, there's a fair amount of different types of brush here, like this yopon. This area has really been used by deer for a long time, and right behind us over here, you can see there's a little creek. And unfortunately, it is a dry creek normally, but it is fortunately wet right now. And to be very frank with you, a little bit later on, if we keep the water here, we'll have a fair amount of wood ducks that come in here, which absolutely thrills me. So we're gonna walk back over here and put out this curiosity lure, and then come back a week later or a few days later and see what we've got. As you can see, we've got the curiosity lure right here from. It's called Curiosity Lure Special Blend that Texas Raised Hunting Products puts out, and it's one of those products that seems to work no matter where you're going to put it. So basically what I'm going to do is take the lid off to begin with. And as you can see, there's a totally enclosed lid. I'm going to take the lid off. Actually, I'm going to probably put it at the base because it does have some odors. Put it at the base of this bush right here. And replace the cap right here, and then I can leave it however far open I want to. If you'll notice, you can close it all the way, you can open it all the way. So basically what we're going to do is put this about 3/4 open, I think, like so, and put it in. I'll show you here in just a little bit. When we were cleaning up this area right through here, guess what we found? We found a tree that was hollow, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just place this right in the center there. As you can see, it's really covered. It means if a raccoon comes in, he's going to have to come all the way down into it. It's going to make it a little bit difficult for anything like a deer maybe to reach in there and grab it, because a lot of times that's what those deer will do. As you can see down here at the base is the lid that I'm going to leave there, and I'll see whether a coon or something gets it. But let's put this out. We'll come back in here, say I'll check it probably tomorrow, but also come back in about a week and then put up a trail camera right here to see what comes in, and maybe a little bit later as we get in closer to the rut. Right now these bucks are still in bachelor herds, and for the most part they're not on the property. We're about a mile away from a nice little creek. We got a little creek here, but we got a free-flowing creek about a mile from here, and a lot of times those bucks, until about the first part of October, middle of October, we very seldom see them here. And then once this rut gets started, because we do have a lot of does in the area, next thing you know we'll have a whole lot of bucks here as well too. So we're going to come back here tomorrow and check it and see what happens. Before leaving, I wanted to check a few little places, a couple little trails, and as you can see we have some deer tracks right here. Not many deer here right now, but there are a lot of does by comparison. As you can see, you can tell this isn't too old, because if you look right there, you can tell that there's a worm pile, and if you look very closely, there's a doe track there with a small fawn following at her heels. So it tells you that we've got at least one fawn this year. I'm going to set up another lure that we have here called Hunter's Creed, and Hunter's Creed buck lure. We've used this in the past at a lot of different places, but I'm just going to kind of set it off on the side of the trail right here and open it up and see what happens. We've had really good luck with this. It says buck DNA, as you can see, and it says buck DNA, as you can see right there. And so let's set it right here and see if we can get something to come up to us. Again, I'm going to pull the lid off of it, as you can see right there, and if you look, you can tell there's I'll pull it back here maybe. There you can see it has kind of a musty sweet odor. Gonna set it up right here. We'll see whether we have what comes in here. There's places right here where the tracks are, where we can see the tracks. We'll see what comes into it. Again, we'll set up another trail camera here, but just give it a few days to begin with. Right now is a good time to be doing all this, because we're just about, when it comes to bow season, we're about 2 weeks away, I guess, actually. And between my son-in-laws and I and my daughters, we all have a chance to hunt out here. And usually what we do is I usually set up a deer stand right here. You can tell there's water right there. There's water back there. Look like the hogs have been in this one, and we do have a fair amount of hogs. And usually this area right in through here is a good kind of a place to set up. We'll set the tripod, or not, well, we'll probably hunt it out of a ground blind this year. Set a ground blind back here to the right, and where you can overlook this creek bottom, because a lot of times these bucks and does, particularly when you get a hard north wind, which I'm hoping we'll have for too very long, they'll kind of come back in here, and who knows what'll show up. The interesting is too, about a year ago, I found a very fresh mountain lion track. Now, I've been dealing with lions for a long time as a wildlife biologist in a lot of different parts of the country, and that looked like that lion was after a wild hog. Looking at the size of the track, it was probably a female, probably about a 2-year-old female, maybe a little bit older, but she was hanging out in through here for a while, and every once in a great long while, even in this populated area, somebody will see a mountain lion, or we'll get a trail camera picture. And so you can't ever tell. You just got to be prepared for whatever shows up. we'll come back in here in about in 3 or 4 days and check this area out again too.
A Sportsman's Life is also brought to you by Air Force Air Guns, AGM Global Vision, H3 Whitetail Solutions, Pyramid Air, Gear the Hunt, and Horizon Smokers.
Artificial fishing up here at Lake Texoma. At Striper Express, we love topwater. We live for it. But something that you never rule out is we use a lot of slab spoons. Some people call them casting spoons or jigging spoons, but it's basically just a piece of lead with a hook on it. Although we do a lot of overzealous crappie jigging, hitting the bottom, lift it up, shake it, and let it fall with a tight line. Be prepared for the fish to hit it. You also need to know that anytime you're in the water, strike zone, have your thumb rubbing that line as it's falling, because those fish can stutter it and hit it on the fall, and you want to be prepared. There he is. All right. Oh, there's one. As soon as I picked it up. That's a double. That's a double. And that's a striped bass. These stripers are in this ditch. Here's another one. Slavin, as we call it here at Texoma, is basically a lead jigging spoon. And when the fish have sounded, a lot of times you can take it and bounce it along the bottom, keeping a tight line to the bait, and pick these fish up.
Conservation Today is brought to you by Hayden Outdoors Real Estate, the brand that sells the land. Visit HaydenOutdoors.com to find or sell your farm, ranch, or recreational property.
One of the things you want to do when you're out walking the woods, whether it's your own property or somebody else's property, pick up the trash along the way. You know, keep your woods and waters clean. You know, when people come to visit my ranch, I sure like to have things picked up. I don't like stuff floating around, blowing around, and you want to keep things looking natural. So that's your tip from A Sportsman's Life, sponsored by Hayden Outdoors.
Well, folks, here's some of our tools of the trade that we're going to be doing some cooking with the next couple of days. There's my old Dutch kettle. You would not believe how much cooking I've done on that old Dutch kettle right there. I think the first thing that I'm going to do is make some good Dutch cobbler. So it's time to get the old fire going, and I'll be back with you in just a little bit. Hopefully we'll have the fire going good and some the makings of some Dutch cobbler in this old cast iron pot. And we'll give our charcoal about 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes to get white hot, and then we will lace that Dutch kettle with some B&B charcoal briquettes and get going. Okay, my friends, I think our charcoal is just about ready, so let's take a look at our cobbler. I've got it all mixed up and ready to go. So our next move, this is a number 10 Dutch kettle right here. Our next move is to take about 12 or 13 of those briquettes, those B&B charcoal briquettes, put on the top of this old lid right here, and then we're going to put about 7 or 8 briquettes underneath this and let it cook. So let's get going. Okay, my friends, here we go. We have approximately 13 briquettes on top, kind of on around the perimeter, the outer perimeter, and we probably have about 7 or 8 distributed all the way around. So we're going to give this cobbler about 40 minutes. Now I'm going to rotate that whole Dutch kettle about 45 degrees, turn it just a little bit in about 15 minutes, so we won't, in case there's a hot spot, so we'll avoid that. So in just a little bit, this thing is going to start smelling really, really good. You'll see a little steam come up. Those briquettes will burn a long, long time, the B&B charcoal. Dang near twice as long as many briquettes that I have used in the past. Well, folks, here is Mr. Jeff, and Jeff, you're going to do some testing for us on this blackberry cobbler.
I am.
I think I've already took all that B&B charcoal off of it, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. Jerk that.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow, look at that.
It looks right. Let's
look at that.
A little of that. Oh yes, sir.
Folks, if you could only be here, we're going to have it for you. Boy, that looks fantastic.
I think it turned out good, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
We cooked that I cooked it about 40 minutes. I actually had it going before you got here, you know that. Well, I say we just reserve that. We'll cook us some fajitas now.
Yep.
some wild pork backstrap fajitas, and then we'll have fajitas. And later, our dessert is ready. And that old Dutch kettle, Jeff, will keep everything nice and warm for later.
Folks, thanks so much for joining us. This segment of our show is brought to us by Gearhead Archery, Snaplock Hunting Blinds, Smoking Texas Electric Smokers, TRHP Outdoors, Ultramatic Feeders, and Catfish Pro Catfish Bait and Catfishing Supplies. Make sure and tune in next week. We'll have another exciting show ready to go for you.